I'm training for the Houston Marathon with a goal time of 3 hours and 30 minutes, and I'm going to get there with my friends at Revive, and I'll talk a little more about them later. So, we've been talking a lot about recovery. We've been talking a lot about the extracurricular stuff that goes into running, strength training, cold plunging, obviously, with Revive, stretching, yoga, all the things. And I have the unique challenge now that I am injured. I'll tell the story. So we started a track day with my run club, Mueller Run Club. As we discussed last time, I don't really love doing track workouts, but we started a track day with Mueller Run Club because of one of the other guys that's in it who wanted to lead it, and I thought that was super cool. So we started this speed workout day, and it's been going really well. It's been really challenging for me mentally and physically, and just getting more into these interval kind of training and doing like faster interval type of stuff. That's just something I haven't really been doing that much of, and it's been really cool to do. And I can tell that it's helping. It's really a test of how fit I am, how strong I am, and feel really good. So 2 weeks ago, I had done the heaviest week so far of training, and I was pretty sore. And so this past week, I was really just kind of feeling that extra mileage. It's just been kind of a down week really for me, mileage wise and intensity wise. Hadn't really done as many runs as I usually do, just kind of hadn't been able to really get out there and do it. Two consistent things that I do is Tuesday Mueller Run Club social run, that's 4 miles, and now a Thursday track day, which is typically around 5 miles. It's been a little bit less, but I guess my legs were just tired because I was really feeling it. And we did definitely the hardest speed workout that I've ever done. 2 1,000 meter intervals at 5K pace, which for me, I don't really know what that is for me, to be honest with you, but I took them at about 6:15, 6:20 a mile pace. So we do 2 1,000 meter intervals at 5K pace, and then we did 4 200 meter intervals all out, complete sprint, which I have not done a full sprint in a long time, and then followed by 2 more 1,000 meter intervals at 5K pace. So it was a pretty tough workout. Man, by the end of the 200s, I was really just feeling this pain in my knee. It was like almost like a slipping, kind of like if you've ever experienced like a tendon kind of slipping a little bit and rubbing in your knee especially. I get it a lot with my IT band. I just thought it was that. I was feeling that kind of like jerk of pain in my knee, my left knee specifically. So then I kind of attribute it to just turning left on the track, which it may be that, I don't know. But also, really high intensity workout that I hadn't done before. So I was feeling that pain, whatever. Didn't think a whole lot of it, mostly thought of it just being on the track, because I've experienced that before just in track workouts, and haven't thought a whole lot of it. Thought it was just maybe the surface I'm running on and turning left and higher intensity. Didn't run on Friday like I normally would because I was very sore. Whenever you're doing sprints, you're using different muscles really than you would normally on kind of a slower, easy pace run. And so, man, Friday I woke up and I was just sore. Like my quads, my hamstrings, my calves, everything was just sore. So I decided to take it off. Saturday I still had my long run on the schedule, and I usually don't want to miss my long run. So woke up Saturday, was still feeling sore, but one thing I noticed that was weird was that I felt that same kind of slip of pain almost in my left knee just getting out of bed, which was really strange. I haven't experienced that before. Just kind of attributed it to being weak in my legs and still being sore, being kind of worn out from that track workout. So decided to take my long run really easy, just like as easy as I could. So took off, was definitely sore, but wasn't really feeling any kind of pain necessarily that was outside of soreness, regular soreness. So I was feeling all right. Kind of felt like I'd probably feel better after the run. Honestly, a lot of times whenever you're sore, you feel better after you've kind of shaken out that soreness. But was feeling good, was feeling strong. Was pretty impressed that even at like the easiest pace I could take, I was still running at like an 8:40-ish pace. It's funny because I was running down Lamar. I don't know if it's conceited or what it is, but whenever I'm running past store windows where I can see my reflection, I kind of like to look in that reflection and see how I look and usually to see what my form looks like. Am I slumping over in any way or landing too far out in front of me, or what am I doing? But also just like, how do I look? Turned and was looking at the reflection of myself in the window and had the thought like, wow, you look pretty good. And as soon as I thought that, I had this sharp pain that just shot up my hamstring. Of course my brain went to like worst case scenario. I just like tore my hamstring, never gonna run again. Stopped, thought maybe I had a cramp or something, so I just kind of was stretching it out, but I knew that it felt a little different than a cramp. Walked a little bit, called my wife to come pick me up, which was embarrassing, but you know, sometimes that's just what you have to do. I think I probably just have a pretty grade 1 strain in my hamstring, but I've never had an injury quite like this. I've never had an injury that was just like in a moment, knew I was injured. Usually it's an overuse kind of injury that just sort of slowly develops over time. And this was like right away. So now I've got this situation where I have to be resting and not running at all and then easing back into it, which is really not what I wanted to do in the middle of a marathon training block. But this video is going to be a little more about showing you how I'm using the cold plunge to recover from that. Really, that kind of is helping to, not to take the place of icing my leg, but to help supplement with that cold therapy on your muscles so that inflammation stays down and all that. I'm going to be doing a lot more yoga than I was before. Show you a few stretches that I'm doing just to keep loose down there, keep loose in my hamstring. We'll see. I'm hopeful that I can get back to it quickly. Let's jump to some cold plunging and to some yoga. This is not fun. Being injured sucks. Out here for Mueller Run Club, it just sucks to not be able to run with them. Literally one of the biggest groups we've had in a long time. And I just want to be out there with them. But this is also a lesson in controlling myself. I had literally talked about how it's going to be really easy to lose control during this time and go a little too fast. I think it might have happened. Just like everything else that we do where we talk about controlled stress responses, it would be really easy for me to lose control of this stress response and go way too fast, jump back in too quickly, and end up hurting myself even worse. If I stay pretty diligent with rest and recovery right now, then I'll be back to it in 2 or 3 weeks time. Really, this is about controlling how I respond to this setback. It's just tough being out here with Mueller Run Club and it being a big group and seeing everybody that I do this with every single week and love to run with. It's hard to say, oh, I'm gonna walk, because Run Club is one of the things that makes me love running. Not my favorite moment in time right now, but it's gonna be all right. All right, I'm gonna talk through this while I warm up. Like that view. So I definitely haven't really taken y'all through the entire thing. I intended for this to be a much shorter recovery time than it was. So, you know, I strained my hey, yeet. I'm not even gonna try to talk to y'all while I do this. I stopped feeling the pain in my left side fairly quickly. Like, I mean, it was a strain, so I definitely felt it, but it was like my body like limited itself. Whenever I would walk, I could extend my leg only so far before I felt that pain from the strain in my hamstring. That made it where I had this built-in limiter, which was nice. But what I didn't expect was whenever I started to try to run again, my right side in the exact same spot as my left side that was injured, and my right side was also in pain. It's weird that my right side was in pain after it was the left side strain. But I asked some friends about it, and I also did what I don't necessarily condone that you do, but I did it anyway. I typed it into ChatGPT, looked up some things about it from actual real doctors online. It turns out it seems like it's more issues in my IT bands. Your IT bands connect to your gluteus minimus in the back and your TFL in the front. I can't remember what that stands for,
but I'll put it on the screen. As long as I've been running, have had issues with my IT bands. And I've honestly never really done anything about it. Typical. Never any strength stuff and never really any real mobility stuff. And as I've mentioned a bunch of times already, this is my first time having a consistent weight routine. I thought it was crazy that I was having hamstring issues when I've been doing a bunch of stuff that targets your hamstrings. But the problem was I had weak hips. My hamstrings and all the muscles around were overcompensating for my weak hips. Muscle in my hamstring, biceps femoris, long head, nerd, was overcompensating for my hip muscles. Dog tried to kill me. Anyway, that's what caused the injury. And that's what almost caused an injury in both legs. Same spot. Only caused a strain in my left leg, and I'm making sure that it doesn't cause one in my right leg. Doing lots of resistance band stuff to strengthen my hips so that my other muscles don't have to overcompensate. So far, so good. I'm out here running at about 8:45 pace. And yesterday had as much of a speed workout as I could do. Did 4 1Ks at about 8:15 per mile. The fastest that I've run since injuring myself. But I also get very nervous. Like right now, I'm coming up on a downhill. That's what I hurt myself on before, was a downhill. So I'm actually gonna walk. To be honest with you, I haven't done as good of a job with my cold plunge routine. It was going really well whenever I was running because it was easy to run, stretch, cold plunge, run, stretch, cold plunge, like every time. When you've got to take a couple of weeks off, it makes it where your routine is kind of shot and makes it really hard to keep some of that stuff up. It's also been quite a bit colder. It's been down in the 30s and 40s. So getting in the cold plunge is not fun. I feel really good right now for the most part, a little bit sore in my hamstring, but I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to go get in the plunge. We can talk a little more about recovery and ways that I'm recovering. We'll get a stretch and I'll see y'all in the plunge. So I do think that I'm on the uphill. I think that I'm almost in the clear. Honestly, hopefully by this point next week, I'll be completely healed up, pain-free. I'm still taking it really easy, still easing back into going full force. Like I said about my track workout, I literally 8:15 a mile was about as fast as I could go without feeling like I was going to injure myself. Obviously, that's not even marathon pace. I do feel like I'm almost back to normal. I feel like things are going really well with my recovery. I do want to thank my partner, Revive Plunge, for their help throughout this entire recovery process. I honestly didn't expect to get injured this time around because I was being really intentional about all of my recovery and all the extra stuff, but there's always just a little missing piece that I find every time, I guess. Can't train for a marathon without getting injured, I guess. But Revive has been there with me every step of the way. I did say that I've gotten a little inconsistent with my cold plunge routine. That's okay. It's always going to be here ready to go. So thank you to Revive for being with me on this. If you want to maximize your recovery with Revive, you can go to their website and use the code KC10 for 10% off your entire purchase over there. Amazing deal. They've got amazing products. They've got products for people at every single price point. If you're looking to just get kind of into an entry-level plunge, they've got that for you, all the way up to sauna and cold plunge combos that you can get custom built to your house. It's crazy, but you can get 10% off that entire purchase by using KC10. Go to reviveplunge.com to take advantage of that. Hopefully next week I will be back on normal running content, normal cold plunge content, not this injury stuff, not this off week stuff. I'm still chasing that goal of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. No, I'm still chasing that goal of 3 hours and 30 minutes at the Houston Marathon coming up in just a little over a month. So I'm very, very excited about that. Gonna hopefully get my shoes soon for that. Gonna figure out my race kit, gonna figure out all that kind of stuff. And I'll take y'all along for the ride for that entire thing. We will see y'all next time.